Sean? Oh, hold on, I can't hear you. Hello? Hold on. Yeah, barely. Hold on. I gotta switch. Hello? Hello? I'm trying to get the okay, hello? Okay, I can hear you. All right, let's see if this works. Hello? Hey, what's up, everybody? Let me see. Can everybody hear Sean and can everybody hear me? And is there a double? Oops. Oh, hey, Mark is here. Can everybody hear? Sean, keep talking. So let me. I'm still doing I'm trying to different audio sets. I'm ready, Mark. I am a. Well, does Mark want to come on stream to promote his Hollywood storyboards? He just texted me. Sometimes you can hear, I guess. Oh, he can't. Okay. Okay. I guess maybe on YouTube people can hear me. Well, you guys could hear me while I was trying to set up on the driving screen as opposed to the this screen that we have on now. I need to make sure I have the right settings. Anyways, I thought I had it fixed last, so everybody can hear. It's very low, and full volume. Okay, let me see. If I'm very low. I'm back to using the old Russian. I have no idea. Let me. How's this? Is this volume better? Is this volume better? Still a little quiet. Is this volume better?
No difference.
No difference.
No difference.
Can't you get rid of the rabbit one and just use your regular?
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Because I think you did it before without the rabbit.
Did what?
Did what?
Well, see, you have your regular Discord
Yeah.
avatar, and then there's a rabbit, right? The rabbit is your second.
Oh, you mean on Discord. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the.
And then you're on mute now. So.
What about now?
So,
is this better? or is this worse?
I hope. Hopefully they can. Oh, they
You
can
have
hear
to go
me.
through a few minutes of technical things every year. No echo, still a little quiet. Hey, is Sean's volume okay?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Sean?
Okay.
Oh, see, now I can't hear Sean.
Oh boy.
Sean, keep talking.
So, okay. So it's gonna be my show. Bernard will draw partly.
Keep talking, Sean.
Hello. Yeah.
Oh, something happened.
Yeah, we're kind of new to this.
Yeah, we're new to this. What about now? Can everybody hear Sean and myself at a decent audible?
Both of us. Come on, please. Get this show on the road.
I think the YouTube audio seems to be better for some reason.
Oh, they said that it's working.
Okay. All right. I think they're just saying that just to get us to start drawing. We wasted like 10 minutes on audio. All right, well, today I'm going to ink this bunny piece. And then let me warm up with a pencil sketch. Let me warm up with, because I got to practice inking. I've been inking this new book I'm working on traditionally. And boy, it's a little bit more difficult than having to go back and forth between digital and traditional. So I think we chatted a little bit about this the other day. Oh no, I was with Kadir.
Wait, so when you say going back and forth, that means sometimes you ink it on paper and then you scan it in and you finish it up digitally?
Yeah, well, this is the plan right now. Like, oops. The plan right now is the pages I'm penciling and then I'm inking on paper. I'm doing the layouts digitally, and there is gonna be. I haven't scanned any of the pages in yet. So once I'm done fully inking, I'm gonna scan them in, and then touch them up a little bit in Photoshop or Procreate. But when I say go back and forth, is like the last book that I drew, Blood Hunters, that was all digital. That was, well, except for one page. Let me show you guys. And drawing on the iPad, again, the main difference really is that I can be a little bit looser on the iPad, because if I make a mistake, no big deal, right? I can just delete and where is the?
Yeah, there's a world of difference between the two. I think if you're gonna work fast and have an easier time, then you do it digitally. So I guess you're counting on the fact that this is going to be one that you can really sell the artwork.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, the pages.
I mean, that's the whole reason of like doing traditional, right, as opposed to just digital. Because otherwise, if digital is much faster and more, let's see, this camera's a little washed out.
Oh, okay. So when you do traditional, is it 11 by 17?
No, I'm still drawing 11 by 14. So the actual comic book page is, you can see this is the rough pencils, right? So this is.
So how does that affect the sale price then?
I don't think the size affects the sale price at all. I mean, there might be a perception of sales price. I mean, like, well, okay, here the covers I do 11 by 17, This is a cover.
That it's 11 by 14, right? Otherwise, someone can buy it and say like, "Hey, this is."
Of course,
It's
I
small.
mean it's listed on the website as 11 by 17. Even the stock paper. I mean, in that respect, would you pay more if the paper stock was a 400 series versus 200 series? I mean,
But then I know we were talking before about doing the covers at 18 by 24, like really big. So you're gonna add like a 1,000 or two onto it.
I don't think it's really more for the price. It's more about, well, the covers I'm doing at 11 by 17, so that it's I can get more detail in there. You know, there's a little bit more room to draw, and it's only one image as opposed to a page. It's like panels, so there's a lot more stuff to draw. And then there's also word balloons, but a cover, you know, I have drawn covers 11 by 14 also. It depends on the amount of subject that's in the cover. But
so you never consider the resale, the original art sale, because 11 by 17 for a standard cover, if someone buys covers and they're hanging out on their wall in their man cave, they're all 11 by 17. And then they'll come across one that's smaller, and then they're like, "Oh, I can't buy that because it just doesn't look good on my couch." And then there's that, Felix Comic Art does this thing called Run the Wall, which is basically oversized drawing, like mural size, and that fetches a lot of money. So, I mean, it really depends on what people want. I mean, I think there are people out there who are buying oversized artwork because it stands out.
I do think, like, Arthur Adams draws in an oversized format, right? His is like double the size, so what is that, 22 by 35? So if you get a commission from Arthur Adams, a lot of his pieces are much bigger. I mean, he does do 9 by 12 headshots, but I think some of that is just to get additional detail in there when you get bigger. For me, I have to balance efficiency and maybe the concept of price. How much more, in theory, how much more are you going to be able to charge for an 11 by 17 original art page versus an 11 by 14? But it saves me like 30 minutes a page times 20.
30 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's.
I mean, during the course of a month.
Yeah, I don't have any original art. No.
I mean, the thinking is that during the course of a month of drawing an interior of a monthly book or so, I'm saving myself a couple of days. Right, like 2 days. That's literally 2 days worth of work. If it's 30 minutes, one page, 10 pages is 5 hours, 6 hours, so it's a day and a half that I get free. Is that worth it for the?
I think in general, yeah, I don't think it's worth it on a regular basis. I think some people are switching to digital because of that. So the original art for an ordinary like Talking Heads page is not worth all that much. So, but I've seen like you have to, in order to draw that small, you have to be really good at drawing because you have to be able to. I mean, imagine like drawing a face smaller than 11 by 17 size. Like in the beginning, I was thinking that all the panels made things too small. I couldn't draw a face at that size. So I was wanting to draw an original that was much larger. And someone like you said, like Arthur Adams and Adam Hughes also seems to draw pages that are much larger. And you can see those originals. I've seen an Adam Hughes original cover, and I'm not sure if he's doing it because he can charge more for the art but I've looked at his oversized artwork, and the line's a little bit shaky. I mean, it's like it's not a very smooth ink line, and I think he's doing it because in order to get the detail, he needs to work really large so that when it shrinks down, all those little mistakes get minimized. So I can't imagine drawing smaller than 11 by 17 because I can't draw faces that small.
Well, that's why you got to draw digital.
Yeah, digital you can zoom in. So that.
Look at this panel here, right? This is panel 1 of a 5-panel page. It's about a quarter of the page, maybe a third, 2/5. The amount of detail that goes. Now, if you zoom in, it does get a little rough. You know, some of these here on the tire or the debris, the wreckage of the engine. It does get a little rough. You look at some of the figures, but I'm still able to get a lot of detail in here. And again, these are all drawn on different layers. So the main difference, the other difference too, when drawing traditional versus digital, is that digital I'm drawing people on different layers. Let me find this one, right? I'm drawing the people on a layer, and then the background or even FX is on a separate layer. So this allows me to, if I make a mistake, I can change the figures. I can move the figures around without affecting the background. I can remanipulate the background to fit a different angle. So it just makes it a whole lot more efficient to be able to adjust.
So you just started drawing traditionally on this one, and this is like just the beginning of this whole journey. Do you think like after a while you're like, fuck it, everything's taking 3 times as long, and having to use whiteout and it's kind of messy? You think you just like go back to digital and just,
I think
so your page rate is enough?
There's already a few pages that I'm going to just draw digitally, which are pages that don't have the heroes on them, and like the beginning of the story is a car chase. So I'm thinking like, the hero's not on it, I'm not going to be able to sell it. Maybe I could sell it, but it would be one of the lower priced pages. It's probably more efficient for me to draw it digitally, right?
Yeah.
The one that you guys saw earlier, that one is a little bit more marketable, or because it has the heroes in it. So then I have to do those traditionally. I mean, it's a little bit of a balance of both, but just having to immerse most of the book I'm drawing traditionally, it's just the fact of not being able to erase after I ink, or even once I draw something and then to resize or reshape. Like some of these sequences, when I'm drawing them digitally, I'm able to play around. Like here is the, let's see, this is like the rough layouts that I have. And I think I also have another epiphany. Is that the right word?
You're in your 50s and you're having an epiphany in your 50s.
Another epiphany. And this is more relating to, like even this, like this is the, issue 3 came out last week. So this is the line art of Hallows Eve, right? And then there was a patch. They made me redraw this mask, right? So there'll be editorial changes. They made me redraw some parts of the costume. I'll have a background. This is the main building in the background. Then I have a secondary background that I have at a lesser opacity. and then I'll add like a little mist to really separate even more. So this one page itself is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, whereas if it's traditional, it's just one layer. You know, I don't get to do all of this.
There's no like half opacity stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, ultimately, Marcello, who colored the book, he would go in and like have to lasso, right, in between all these spaces. So I'm saving him, I don't know, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes per page of lassoing. When I can just, when I'm drawing it, I can just draw it on layers. It doesn't affect me anymore, but it makes it faster going down the production line. Anyways, the epiphany that I had was that I'm looking at, because I'm looking at a lot of, I don't know if Ace is going to jump on later, but I'm looking at a lot of younger artists' work, and what I think is holding back a lot of younger artists in their final work is this stage here, the rough stage.
What, the layouts?
But not just the layouts, but the rough stages in which you're laying out the figure and how it's going to be in. So when we look at a layout, right, we look at the layout of a page like storytelling, and so we're trying to figure out what panel goes where, and how the action moves, and how big are the figures. But you and I, Sean, as professionals and having, you know, over 30 plus years in the industry, we're doing this in a much faster rate because our brain is already thinking about a lot of different things, and we're just trying to get the basic composition of the page down. And then when it comes down to drawing, then there's another rehashing of. I don't have any of those layers on here because I ultimately, when I do finish, I delete the layers. But typically when I start out, there's 3 or 4 rough pencil layouts, layers. In addition to, I should save one of them, but in addition to the line art, final line art layer that you see, I have like 3 or 4 layers of just rough pencils. And again, they're not here anymore because I've deleted them after I finish and send off the page to the colorist, because I don't want him to, I don't want to confuse him. But in those stages of rough pencils and rough layouts, the stick figures, the fundamental wiring of the figures, the younger artists tend to gloss over that stage. And then they jump to what would be like final pencils or line art, especially if you're drawing digitally. It's basically, you go from rough to line art. And that's where you can see a lot of inconsistencies and deficiencies in their drawings. So let me see if I can get a, am I coming through? Do people understand what I'm saying, or I'm not sure if I'm being as articulate.
So you're talking about like the compositional foundation part is lacking, so they're spending a lot of time on surface detail, but it's on a framework that's kind of poor to begin with.
Yeah, I would like, you know, if you know, if Ace is here and he wants to jump on, I would like to show one of his pages. But if not, then let me see if I can.
Well, there is like a mental checklist for every page that I do, and you probably have a mental checklist too. Like when you're putting a starting a page, you're like, well, first of all, you're gonna have to tell a story clearly, but then you want to get a variety of different types of figures on a page. So that's like on one panel, you should have like a big headshot, and then on some other panels, you have like pull the camera back and show everyone in the room at the same time.
Well,
and
no,
then,
no, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is like, okay, right, we go from the rough stage, right, and then this is my layout. This is my layout for the page, all right. Let me find another one. Let me find one of a book that's already come out. Okay, this one. All right. Let's say this is the layout that I did. Okay, usually I'll go from this stage, This is the layout that I've submitted to the editors and to the writer. It very quickly tells a story. White Widow wraps her legs around Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone reaches into her thigh pocket and pulls out a knife, and then stabs White Widow right in the gut. This is Dagger, who's recovering from being turned into a vampire, and she's like trying to exorcise the vampiric effects from herself. So from that, right, most people will go and they'll start from here, and then they'll start inking. They'll start inking.
Then you think that's not a good idea?
That's the worst idea. That's why some
okay,
of the
so
drawings
there's no secondary stage?
Yeah, there's no, so, and they'll go from this, and then they'll go, okay, because they're rushing, and then, oh, here's the hand.
Okay, so there's no tightening of the pencils.
Yeah, and then, especially digital, right? Whereas when we were drawing, when we started out drawing traditionally, you would do the roughs, especially our method of drawing on the back and the front. On the back, when you flip it, you can see, once you flip it, automatically you see deficiencies in the drawings. And then you're able to redraw it and erase on the back, and then flip over and then finish pencils and then inks. Right? For you, you just finish pencils on the front. But a lot of the younger artists that are drawing digitally, they just go straight from their layout, thinking that, okay, I got rid of the layout process, I'm done with that finally, and now I get to do the fun stuff of drawing. And
yeah, it may be like a manga influence,
I think it's just impatience.
like a webtoon type look.
No, I think it's just really impatience. It's just a rush to getting to a final product, and then you're relying upon what you've initially thrown down on a piece of paper very quickly. You know, the layouts are drawn very quickly. They're very sketchy. There's no real concentration. I mean, there is some concentration, but there's, the effort is, the main focus of the layout is the composition, not the actual drawing of the figures, not the anatomy, not the posing, not to make sure that everything is accurately lined up, right? So you go from here to this. You're making some of the stuff up, and then, okay, how did I draw this arm here? It's very sketchy. All right, well, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, okay, so they're just rushing, basically, and skipping a step to save time, either because they need the money or they just don't have the
I don't think it's
discipline.
well, not necessarily needing the money. It's discipline. It's just being lazy because you're skipping.
Okay.
You're cheating.
So it's really the editors and the company that shouldn't reward that behavior by hiring them, right?
Well, I mean, they're not being hired yet, in a sense, because of their work isn't. This is affecting their level of work. So this is affecting the level of drawing, right? So what I'm saying is, you need to, once you do the layout, fine, okay, you do the layout, but let me.
It just sounds like you can kind of put that under the umbrella of like they just have to draw better.
Well, it is. This is how
that's everyone's problem.
This is how you can draw better. Here's the thing, though. This is how you can draw better. This is how you're able to improve your drawing by slowing down. I mean, earlier the conversation in the beginning of the stream is how can I speed up, because it's so slow right now for me to draw. But for a a younger artist, it's the exact opposite. You actually need to slow down before speeding up. You actually need to learn a lot of the basic skill sets, disciplines that will enable you to have the best output.
Yeah, so they're basically putting finish lines over a rough draft. So they have to go through successive iterations of a draft, and then the inking should be, just almost like the pencils that are just made camera ready, rather than kind of figuring things out in the inks.
Right. I mean, you look at the difference between, if you look at the difference between the original layout for this page that I had, right, and then this is the finished page. It's dramatically different in a sense that it's very, very different. I mean, some of the initial thinking is storytelling is the same, right? There's White Widow. She's pinned up against the wall and she reaches her legs out to grab Elsa around her chest and throat by her with her legs, right, hugging her. And Elsa's hand is like holding onto one of the legs to show a little bit of a struggle. It's not just the face struggling, but the hand is struggling. And then showing that her left hand needs to be free so that her left hand can go down and grab the dagger from her thigh as she's being like locked up, in the upper torso area. And then the stabbing part, it completely changed up. Because of the even the angle, I had Elsa there, and I had Elsa instead. I actually changed up the arm, where Elsa's right hand now reaches across because her right hand's gone. She reaches across her thigh to pull out the knife, and then stabbing it in an awkward position with her right hand backwards because she's in a combat situation. She's unable to, make it look nice.
So new artists are kind of just rushing.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just rushing. Now, the drawing component, there's a whole other aspect of, you really need to put in the hours of drawing. But when it comes to comic book drawing or comic book illustration or comic book storytelling, there's a rushing to getting to this final line art. That's
so
inhibiting.
What I think is strange is someone who's just kind of starting out, there's a big difference between them and you, and there's no way they can compete against you. The only thing that they have to close that gap between where they are and you are is time. Like, you may be able to do this page in one day, but if they take 2 days, maybe they can get a little bit closer to you. But instead, they're taking half a day and finishing the book twice as fast as you, but the result is 10 times worse. And then, I mean, it's no stranger. It's not unusual that we can be at our age and still be in demand, because I think that the work ethic is kind of just kind of left the building,
Yeah, I mean,
really, that's the only way they can compete, because they can't just get better overnight. The only thing they can do is spend more time on it. That's the only thing that they have to make up for any deficiencies. But it doesn't seem like they're making use of that.
Yeah, and I don't think, it's not like they're getting more work than me. I don't even think that's the issue. I mean, the discussion really is just about why do some artists' young artists' work maybe don't look as well drawn as professionals' work. And some of that is that I think a pro A has built up the skill set to draw in a faster format, but also B has certain editing, um, and this is excluding people like Jim Lee or Mark Silvestri or um, the really the top of the top echelon of artists. Um, where even for them they've just developed a particular style that they draw, that they're just so familiar with in terms of drawing. So I would just encourage young artists to just slow down. Let me go back to the chat real quick and say hello to everybody. Dr. Midnight, Lurky Lurk, Jamie Odell, good to see you. Simple Man's here, good to see Tony. Dr. Midnight, ooh, his aunt passed away. He's making a family portrait of her. The watercolor paints should be done on Saturday. I already have the pencil layout and ink tomorrow. Yeah, so actually this goes into that. Again, spend a little bit more time on the pencils, on the layouts, and on the rough, the structural bones of the drawing. And then the rest will actually come faster, because if the base drawing is there, then when you're inking and watercoloring, it should actually flow better. I mean, Sean, I don't know if you want to have any watercolor tips for Dr. Midnight. I mean, you've been doing a lot of watercoloring lately. Should you ink before you watercolor or ink after you watercolor?
I mean, it depends on. Well, I ink before, and just do it on decent watercolor paper. And I learned this thing from Drew Struzan, which is to have a finished drawing at every stage. So when he does a sketch, it's like a beautiful gesture drawing, and then he turns that sketch into a tighter pencil drawing. And this is for one of his movie posters, and then the pencil drawing looks like wow, that's a great pencil drawing. It's you could sell that, and then it moves on to put in the darks with a black acrylic, so it's just basically inked, and then when he's done with that, you could sell that because it looks like a finished drawing, and then he adds color. So at every single stage, and there's like 7 stages. There's not one stage that's like a stinker where you say like, well, it's going to look good when it's done, but right now it looks like pencils look like crap, but they're not going to show anyway. So the best way is to make it a finished, polished drawing at every stage, and then you could ruin it at the next stage. It's very easy to ruin something in watercolor, but at the very least, it's going to be, you have a better chance if you have a solid foundation where all the drawing is worked out. So I do the pencil, and then I ink on the watercolor paper, which is hard because the watercolor paper is really rough and it's kind of tough on tools. But you got to use India ink so it doesn't bleed. And then when I get those line work ink stains look to be very pretty, like it's a comic book page, then I put the watercolors on top. And that way you only have to worry about tinting things into the right colors. And then it does all the heavy lifting in the stages that you can control easier, because watercolor is hard to control.
So
I respect people who can just go right to watercolor and paint without any underdrawing.
So Sean, what you just said is, I think, a more eloquent way of what I was trying to say earlier.
Okay.
And so it's just that every stage that you're going through, you try to make it that as what were you saying, that every stage that Drew Struzan, every stage that you're drawing, when it goes from pencils, before you ink, the pencils themselves can actually be a piece on its own. And then when you ink, the ink itself could be but it makes inking easier if the pencils are right then and there, right?
Yeah.
And then when you're watercoloring, if the inks are already solid, then it makes it even easier, because you're not really, I mean, the watercolor itself is difficult because it's a medium that is very difficult to control. But it gives you frees up your brain so that you're not trying to still figure it out. You're just trying to figure out the watercolor. You're not trying to figure out the drawing, right? So the pencil drawing, the pencil stage, before you ink, the pencils already look amazing. They already look like a finished piece that you could sell, that you could turn in. and that's what I'm trying to get at, is that even and going to go to even get to the pencils is the rough layout. The rough layout needs to be at a stage where everything's kind of figured out already. And then you're merely just cleaning up the pencil. You're merely just applying a light coat of pencil on top, the finished pencils. So, yeah, we're talking about the same thing, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, you can hear some sound bites of some artists who say, not to second guess yourself. Your first idea was always the best. Never redraw something, it doesn't get better. Don't, and you kind of would like to hear that beginning, because it sounds like it's also a lot easier to not have to redraw things, and not to second guess yourself. But so, I mean, we have that in writing too. Like people say, like if you do too many drafts, you'll kill it. So it's best just to come up, do a vomit draft, and then return it in. And I can't imagine that's a good process for anything. But when someone hears that, they do it because it also sounds easier than having to rework something over and over again.
yeah, but I mean, how often is it that you find yourself redrawing stuff? I don't really, I think it's important for, if you're looking at it as a hobby, something that makes you feel good, then yeah, just go with the first thing that you're doing. But if you're looking at it as a professional, let me ask you, like, if you were to hire an architect to design a house for you, or a building, are you going to go with the first sketch that the architect puts down, the first draft, the first blueprint, or do you think there's going to be revisions and revisions and revisions to then ultimately get to a safe and viable functional structure that you're going to live in for the rest of your life, or sell?
Yeah, I mean, almost always the idea of successive drafting and redrafting is always a good idea. But there is something that Drew Struzan also talks about, which is killing the drawing. And I think we all kind of know, like, you've seen a drawing that's overworked.
Yeah.
Someone took too many stabs at it to the point where it feels muddy and labored over, and it doesn't look like it came like fresh and easy. It was too much work, bogged it down, and it makes it have an overall dark cloud over the work. And so I think that's viable too. So the question is, how do you do all those successive drafts so you end up with the best end result without killing it? And
it is possible.
That's a hard thing.
It is possible to overdo it, but drawing too. Yes, it is.
Yeah. One way is moving too slow with your drawing. Like if you're very worried about a line and you draw very slowly and it has little micro tremors in it, that starts to look starts to look bad, because it starts to look well, I mean, I think we all know what that would look like. But if supposedly if you're really good, you move very quickly, and there's a confidence, and that confidence has an aesthetic quality that's good.
This is a John Stewart sketch that I'm doing. Let me see who else was in chat. Mr. Joshua, thank you for the sub. 46 months. How many is that? That's almost 4 years. Has it been 4 years? What's 4 years? 48 months? Shit. Wow. Sometimes, I don't know, it just feels weird, like, thinking that we've been doing this for, like, 4 years, Sean.
Yeah, it's gonna be like half a decade soon.
4 years, that's somebody graduated college. 4 years ago. Well, I mean, given the pandemic, I think really kind of screwed up the timeline. But man, to think like, wow, 4 year span. That's college right there. Thank you, Mr. Joshua. Hope Cool Hand Luke is doing good. Mr. Flowers, how are you doing? Good to see Mr. Flowers here. Jamie Odell, Lurky Lurk. Let's see. There's some echo, no echo. Okay. All right.
Lee is rating.
Oh, Crochet Art rated 38 people. Welcome to the stream. Starting out right now, we're talking about a little bit of art. Golf Boy Sundays here from the Northeast Pacific. Thank you for the sub. 46 months also. Oh, shit. Excuse me for a sec. Sean, entertain the masses real quick.
You gotta take a dump?
No. I have a surprise. Surprise!
Oh. Okay. Well, I hope you draw the carrot lady. I think that was probably the most entertaining thing. But I'm not sure.
Lady?
Well, no, not the carrot lady, the rabbit girl.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
That's at the inking stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that's gonna be the wrap up of this stream. But I want to show some people this.
The Green Lantern thing.
Well, I'm gonna lay out the Green Lantern, John Stewart, and then
is that a cover?
Look at this.
Like a puffy something or other.
It's a
puffy
magnet.
sticker?
I got some Monkey Prince magnets made. So I'm gonna send some of these to our loyal viewers. Guys like Golf Boy Sunday and Mr. Joshua. So I got some of these magnets made. You can put it on your. They just came in the mail today. So I just went and picked them up. I wonder how well they stick. So look at that. Do I have a piece of metal?
That you have one in your knee?
Yeah. No, I have an old lady's ligament in my knee. Let's see. Oh, that's kind of sticking a little bit.
They put an old lady's ligament in your knee?
Yeah. I asked for a retired NBA guy, or at least, but they said no. It's a cadaver ligament. Yeah, so magnet. There we go. Look at that.
Alright, so that's a giveaway.
Magnet. I'll try to put these in the mail soon.
The John Stewart for?
Oh, this is a commission. Another commission.
Oh, okay.
So I just need to figure out a pose. I don't know. You like the A1? Or we're going to do the...
I'm surprised that you have time for commissions.
No, these are... I don't have time, but these are ones that have been sitting around for a while. So for the stream, I figure, since I can't really show what I'm drawing right now. I forgot. I don't think this is a full figure. I gotta check the list. Who else is here? James Quo. Oh, are we gonna do some sparring today? Your Jimbo's here, our moderator. Blues Boy is here. Ooh, Blues Boy. Old timer.
Sparring.
Some artists drawing tradition in the 90s used to do that layout, finishings, mainly to save time, yeah. Dr. Midnight, thanks for the sub with the Prime, 26 months, although Dr. Midnight has been a key supporter of our stream. Kevin P. West from Detroit, Motor City. Raid from Crochet Arts, from Lee. Let's see, first time chatter, Cal Car Clicker. Good to see Car Clicker. Mandala, good to see Mandala. Blues Boy. Kevin P. West, Crochet. Okay, well, welcome to the stream. Let's sketch this out, and then we're gonna ink gonna
Rabbit,
eat this one.
rabbit lady.
I eat this. What pose do you
I
like?
that one. The one with a torso twist is kind of cool.
This one that I'm doing right now.
Yeah. And then do you do like this face background?
No background. I'm not paid to draw backgrounds. Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart has a really simple, too simple of a. Sometimes looking back, you know, Sean and I both drew Green Lantern Corps for a little bit. I wish I had an opportunity to maybe add a little bit more texture into Jon Stewart's uniform.
I am not going to be at Comic-Con. And Lee asked, but are you going to be there, Lee? And
Who's going to San Diego? It's 2 weeks.
you're not, right?
I'm not going.
2 weeks. No one has been kind of like dead in terms of comic book news, and I think they're just kind of holding off until San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, any kind of comic book news you're going to get right now is like negative news, right? Everyone is holding off for Comic-Con 2 weeks, a week. Maybe next week they might start announcing stuff, but
You know, I did a cover for Mad Cave,
yeah.
the Gotcha Man one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, this is what happened though. Remember, well, we used to do Battle of Sketches where you show it every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So this is back like maybe a few years ago, and Jerry was calling out which characters to draw. So Gotcha Man was the theme.
Yeah.
So I'd draw it. You know, it's if you don't get paid for it, it's just an exhibition. And then Wednesday came around, I posted it, and then someone saw it and said like, "Hey, is that for sale?" And I said, "Yes, it's on 8.5 by 11 bond paper, so it wasn't oversized and it wasn't special or anything. It's just on Xerox paper." But he bought it, and then a few years later, I posted again on Instagram, and then Mike from Mad Cave said, "Hey, we can use that." So he bought it to use as a cover.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is all from Battle of Sketches, that free exhibition thing that we do.
Man, so you double dipped on that piece.
Yeah.
Then. You sold
And
the
then
original.
when it's done, I'm gonna make a few prints, and basically I'm gonna keep pushing until I reach $1,000 total off of it, and then.
Or are you coloring the
rest.
cover? Why don't you color the cover?
I'm having Tom do it.
Oh. Why don't you color it like watercolor?
I don't know. Do like a DK Rowan type treatment.
Yeah. He didn't pay you $1,000 for the cover?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, he asked me what my rate was. I did not go that high. Courtney's here in chat.
Oh, what's up, Courtney? I don't know. Which ones do you guys like? Do you guys like... I'm trying to get a little bit of a twist for Jon Stewart. You know, obviously, as Jon Stewart as a Green Lantern, I got to show the ring. For Green Lanterns, the rings are always on the right hand, except for the first Green Lantern, the locomotive dude. All the modern-day Green Lanterns, the rings have been on the right hand. For the Green Lanterns, the Yellow Lanterns, the ring is on the left hand. So any commission drawings or drawings you see of Green Lanterns holding the ring wearing the ring on the left hand is incorrect.
It means he's married.
That means the artist doesn't know. But it's often, you know, it's very easy to. I keep settling back on this up pose. I don't really like this down pose.
Wow, that's a lot of.
All right, which ones do you guys like? Or is there
Some nice
any...
little sketches. Finish drawing at every stage.
Courtney, don't worry about it. You know, if you gotta work, do work. Don't worry about it. Anybody in chat have a? Which ones do you like? A. This is A2, B, C, D. Bottom right, simple
letting
message.
them be
Bottom right.
art director. Oh, so that's the yeah, I tend to draw that scene from above.
And I hate this paper.
So you look
This is like watercolor paper. It's gonna be like, man. We got a D and a B. Sean. With speed lines or focus lines. No speed lines. There's no backgrounds. This is a commission.
Every commission I do has background.
Crochet
I
art
say
says
B.
D pose. Golf Boy says B. B or
Here's
C
an interesting
says,
thing. Like,
huh?
it's you either draw an up shot or a down shot. Do not do the eye level shot. I mean, ever.
Yeah, so boring. Why?
Yeah, it's sort of like that filmmaking rule. Find a horizon line and put it either up very high or very low. Do not put it in the middle.
And then I'll quickly lay this out, and then I'll jump to the inks for the. Anyone else? Oh, I can do a poll. Shit, that's right. Duh. Let's do a poll. Manage poll. Sketch pose. Okay. A2, B.
Down shots in general are easier to draw. Up shots are very hard.
Okay, we got a 2-minute poll. All right, there should be a poll in the chat box. Blues Boy. Is there another pose, Sean? This pencil's not working. So no news in the comic book industry this week. Did Jim stream this past weekend? I doubt it, right? It was July 4th. So no progress made on that $40,000 retouching.
But plenty of people talking about his commission prices.
Still? I don't get it.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
I just saw like sports cards being sold for like $50,000 for like a baseball card. You're against the $20,000, Sean?
no, I'm an artist, so I can't be. But I'm just surprised that people would spend that much.
I mean, what was the other discussion is that, look, he's not going to be able to draw for the rest of his life, nor does he maybe even want to draw for the rest. You know, like, it's getting up there. I mean, he's not that old, but didn't he say there was like a year that he didn't draw for an entire year? Anime Mosh Pit 1921. Good to see Anime Mosh Pit. Who's at Anime Expo this week? Last week. Anybody in chat go to Anime Expo?
Oh, we have a winner.
We have a winner? D. Fuck.
Wow. Okay.
Who wants D, man? Who wants D?
Well,
Can we
what's
override?
cool about the overhead shot is always cool, because it looks like that the person's on the offensive, right?
It's a more heroic pose.
Yeah.
This is more heroic.
So you're letting them be art directors, so now you have to draw what they.
I gotta draw
Ask
what the
for.
chat says. The chat rules.
So yeah, definitely the shot from above is more aggressive.
What did your Jimbo say? Your Jimbo, did you vote? I wonder. I was gonna have you override, Sean. Come on.
We love doing those upshots.
I'm drawing very lightly. This is like what? It's like very heavily textured vellum paper or something.
This is the paper he gave you to
Yeah,
draw on?
yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I guess he has it in a book and then he just pulls it out. I'm really tempted to rip all these things out here.
One time there was a guy I did a commission for that got very angry at me because he had a sketchbook like that spiral bound thing.
Yeah.
And so I started doing a drawing. I was like, oh, I don't like this. So I ripped it out and did it again. And it's like, and those are kind of meant to rip out. And also the sketchbook has like 80 pages in it.
Right.
Who's going to know if there's 79? But then he counted and said like, hey, I bought this sketchbook with 80 pages and now there's 78 in there. So he thought it was very unprofessional.
You owe him a
So
page?
I was like, yeah. So what I did was like, I said, well, mail me the sketchbook and then I'll return it to you with 80 pages in it. So I looked at the brand of the sketchbook because he sent me a photo of it. Yeah. And I went out and bought the same sketchbook. And then I think what people don't know, it's not truly a spiral bound because a spiral means the wire goes all the way down, but really it's just like a clamshell type thing. So you can spread it open and then put more pages in. So I told him that I returned it. And he goes, wow, how'd you do that? And I said, well, I just put in extra pages. So then he got this idea. It's like, wow, so you can remove the pages and put them back in? And I was like, yeah, you can do that. Not many people know that. So he just took his whole sketchbook apart and then gave it to every single artist all at the same time. And they drew. And at the end of the show, he had like 8 sketches that were all done in one day. So you don't have to give out the sketchbook. Some artists would take the paper and never return it. And that would have been his sketchbook that they never returned. So then he just asked me if he could buy the rest of the sketchbook off me. And I said, okay. I sent it to him. And then he just uses that. So his sketchbook always has 80 pages in it, but they're basically taken from another sketchbook and passed out.
Did the guy thank you? It was like, I'm sorry for calling you unprofessional?
Well, I mean, the sketchbook is perforated like a stamp. So you're supposed to be able to tear it out. And I don't know, I think to make a big deal about it, I thought was kind of weird.
So did you charge him double for the extra sketchbook?
No, I just gave it to him. But then he said he was like really sorry for losing his cool. And then he wanted to get another sketch. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really busy.
Yeah, all booked up. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, point this guy out next time you see him, all right? Coach Lee boycotted Anime Expo.
Oh, yeah, why is that?
Yeah, why is Lee boycotting Anime Expo? They invited me to speak one year, and I had a blast. So he applied for a pro pass, put down work. I put down my work on Speed Racer, Robotech, Voltron, and they told me I had to work on real anime. I was very upset. The staff people were so rude and uninformed, so I never went back. Well, that's a pretty good reason.
Well, a lot of people who are in anime are very, very like gatekeepery. Like, it's a very sensitive thing about what they consider to be real anime or not.
Well, here's a question too. Like, you have all these anime artists that go to Comic-Con, but then if a superhero comic book artist went to Anime Expo, is that like not?
A bunch of weeaboo gatekeepers.
Why are superhero comic book artists not allowed to? I messed up on the pose. I ran out of space. This is a very horizontal
I think you're gonna have to buy the sketchbook that paper came from if you need to do it again.
This is a really weird arm. Ish. This is a really weird arm position. Do you think that works? It's like all cocked back.
It's super cocked back. But
yeah. So cocked back. I think I should move. Was there an over-under as to how many minutes in that I would erase everything?
Yeah, I think when you're doing those rough sketches, since it's so small, you're doing many on a page, you feel like you can spread out and just take however much room you need. But then when you do the final one, the paper is kind of small. You become very aware of the boundaries, and then you start tucking things in and keeping them away from the edges. And it starts to push your pose around to the point where it's unnatural. Who just came on?
That's so unnatural.
Oh,
I thought it was a FLETCH.
FLETCH
What up?
CHUFONG.
What's up?
What's up,
How
FLETCH
you guys
CHUFONG?
doing?
Where
Busy.
in the world is FLETCH right now?
I'm in LA for a while. At least till San Diego.
Oh yeah, San Diego.
Well, that's 2 weeks from now. What? And any interesting comic book industry news, FLETCH?
You want me to spill the tea here?
Yeah.
Batman, absolute Batman.
It should be an interesting show. You know, you're gonna have media coming back. Last year was because of the strike and everything. You know, a lot of the media companies stayed home, or you know, they didn't come down to San Diego.
Right.
Which kind of helped a lot of the comic book retailers and exhibitors and everything. So the floor seemed a lot more packed last year. So we'll see how this is this year. Marvel's coming back to Hall H, so have a big presence promoting stuff that, you know, I'm sure they'll have something on.
Wow, Marvel's back? Is it VV Marvel or real Marvel?
Real Marvel. Marvel as far as Hall H. So, you know, I'm sure they'll probably talk about what's the next phase. Is that phase 9 now? What is it up to?
Oh, you're talking the movie Marvel.
Yeah. They'll have a booth too on the floor. Yeah, I think they'll probably talk about what Fantastic Four is next, or something.
Deadpool.
So it's Deadpool Wolverine is coming out that weekend. The next during San Diego Comic Con.
Did they plan it that way?
I don't know,
Yeah.
but it is a July release, so it's big news that James Gunn announced that he's not going to be at San Diego. So
Well, they're
he's got
shooting Superman right now, right?
shooting Superman, but Creature Commander is supposed to come out this fall or this winter. So you think that, you know, they'll probably want to promote that, but don't know. I don't know. So a lot of stuff happening, Disney and but yeah, I'll be there. I'll have 3 booths on the floor, so I'm helping out. Yeah, I'm helping out the story again. I have Ghost Machine. We'll have a booth, and Oni Line Forge will have their booth as well. So I'm helping them out.
Ghost Machine has their own booth, or
Yeah, the 10 by 20 booth. Yeah, booth 1629 for Ghost Machine, 1829 for Oni, and 2314 for Distillery.
What was
and I'm
our
helping
old...
out.
Sorry,
Huh?
go ahead. Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just I'm helping out comicsology too. They have 5 panels, and Exploding Kittens has a panel and a signing. So they have a panel.
Who's that?
Exploding Kittens is a card game created by former Eisner-winning writer Matthew Inman.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's a pretty popular game. Like you know, you find it on the shelves of like Target, Walmart, or whatever. But yeah, so you'll have a panel and a signing.
I was going to ask you, I don't know if I should do this online here or offline, but I was going to make a nasty pose. A nasty post.
Oh, pose or post?
Post. Shaming the Eisner
Really?
Awards. Huh?
Shape?
What? For
Shaming the
At
Eisner
this point.
Awards.
What do they do?
They haven't. They haven't.
Oh.
How do I put this?
they haven't been relevant.
Well,
I think people lost trust in the Eisners a long time ago.
they have. Yeah.
Out of all,
Huh?
go ahead. I was gonna say, out of all the awards out there, though, they're the most.
They're the most prestigious of the comic book industry awards.
Yeah, because you know, it's not a popularity contest. It's supposed to be judged on, you know, by a separate panel, a team of experts, and
Yeah. I mean, when you
or
look at
that
the
way.
experts, I mean, really, come on. Anyways,
Yeah, I've never heard of. I've never heard of those
You
people.
never hear like 9 out of the 10 judges, but okay. They have a category called. I'm getting
Best
down
podcast.
to. Huh?
Most woke comic.
Where is this? All the way at the bottom.
It's also the same people that win every year, right? Best Adrian Tomaine comic.
Yeah. Okay, what is this? Eisner Hall of Fame nominees, 2024. Eisner Hall of Fame nominees, 2024.
Okay.
What this?
Not to belittle any of the people that are nominated on here,
But
but it's been 3 years, and they're leaving a pretty big name off of this list. So, I'm referring to John Paul Leon.
I know.
So, and then looking at the judges, one name comes to mind on the judges panel. That probably should have pushed this.
Well, the good thing is that they are open to, you know, suggestions and everything, and
But these are the judges' choices, though. The 2024 Eisner Awards Hall of Fame judges' choices.
Right.
Kim Deitch, Krieg Flessel, A.B. Frost, Billy Graham, Gary Groth, Albert Cantor, Warren Kramer, Oscar Liebeck, Franz Mazzarello, Don McGregor, Kenji Nakazawa, Noel Sickles, Cliff Stewart, Elmer Stoner, Brian Talbot, Ron Turner, George Tuska, Lynn Varley, James Warren. These are the judges' choices, and you look at the list of the judges. Anyways, shame. Shame on them. Shame on the judges. This is, I mean, are they really, what's comics?
Yeah. I'll tell you what I could do, though. I mean, I could put a word in and make a recommendation, too. I don't know if, you know, how the Hall of Fame candidates are chosen or picked by the judges. But
Yeah, well, I mean, there's
you know.
actually, I'm looking at it right now. There's two separate. Here, hold
Are they up for a vote? The people that they picked, or are they already in?
on. Okay, there's two. Hold on. Since Mr. Fletch is here, and Mr. Fletch, by the way, congratulations on getting rid of finally your Boost Mobile account, and now it looks like you're on one of the main 3 or 4. Not a single crackle.
It's the same account I've had for years.
Okay. So here are the Eisner Hall of Fame nominees, 2024. And out of these nominees, I think there's a voting for these, right? But, so these are the nominees for Hall of Fame. Gus Arrillo, Riola, Eddie Campbell, Mike Friedrich, Don Heck, Klaus Jansen, Abe Canigson, Jim Lee. I'm surprised Jim Lee's not even in it. Mike Mignola, Tom Palmer, Bob Powell, Mike Royer, Ira Schnapp, Paul Schuling, Leonard Starr, Jill Thompson, and Angelo Torres. This is Hall of Fame nominees. Now the second category here, judges choose 19 of these people. These are 19. So these are already. Is that 19? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
These aren't really artists, though. They're
12,
not all artists.
13, 14,
so
15, 16.
You can be anyone in the industry. So it's
right. It's your impact on the comic book industry, whether it's an artist, executive, or Phil Seuling was. I think it was a
convention.
Yeah, conventions.
Okay.
So there depends on your impact on the industry.
So these are the judges choose 19. So the judges already chose those Hall of Fame. Right? Now then there's the 2024 Eisner Awards Hall of Fame judges choices. Huh?
Wait. They chose those 19, like Mignola, Jim Lee, and Jill Thompson. They're already in, or they have to be voted in?
I think they're already in, automatically inducted into the Will Eisner Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I've, all my years going to San Diego Comic-Con, I've only been to the Eisners once, and that was to help drop something off to to one of my clients, and I love
So no, those people. I think those people that I mentioned earlier, they have to be voted in. I'm assuming these are nominees, right? But the judges already chose 19. So that these 19, Kim Deitch, Craig Fessel, A.B. Frost, Billy Graham, Gary Groth, Albert Cantor, Warren Kremer, Oscar Liebeck, Franz Mazzarino, Don McGregor, Kenji Nakazawa, Noel Sickles, Cliff Stewart, Elmer Stoner, Brian Talbot, Ron Turner, George Tuska, Lynn Varley, and James Warren. These guys.
What is the?
Huh?
What are the credentials? How is it that there's 19 voted in, and then there's those other group that you mentioned that has to be voted on? What's the distinction?
I don't know. It just says here, San Diego Comic-Con has announced Eisner Award judges selected 19 individuals to automatically be inducted into the Will Eisner Comics Hall of Fame. Automatically. These inductees include 12 deceased comics pioneers and 7 living creators. In April, nominees were announced for online voting to add 4 more inductees into the Hall of Fame. The 2024 Hall of Fame judging panel consists of Dr. William Foster, Michael T. Gilbert, Karen Green, Alonzo Nunez, Jim Thompson, and Maggie Thompson. Hall of Fame trophies were presented at the Eisner Awards. Right? These are the ones that they've selected automatically into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I can't tell you what criteria they use to select people versus what criteria they use to nominate people. I don't know what the difference is
Right.
between.
It's a little ambiguous. Now, these are the 6 comics experts making up nominating committee. It's proud to announce the judging panel has been named for the 2024 Eisner Awards, which will reward excellence for works published. So these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people. These are chosen by subcommittee men.
Joe Elliott is there.
Huh?
Joe Elliott is there.
That's who I'm getting at.
Oh, interesting.
So, anyways, it's a shame.
Yeah.
And it's a shame too that even when he was still with us, he only got nominated once.
You and I both agree that he was a tremendous talent. I don't know what like I said, what that Comic-Con Eisner group is looking for when it comes to the criteria.
Yeah.
For,
Look, I don't want to belittle any of the people that they've chosen, right? But it's been 3 years.
Yeah, but like you said, there's other ways to try to get this point across too. And now that I can make a couple of mentions to them, to the people that run the Eisners, the group, and also to Joe. I know Joe. There's other.
So here's the thing. Okay. So that other list, the initial list that included Jim Lee. Judges nominate 16 for 2024 Eisner Hall of Fame. So they select 19 that automatically go in.
Mm-hmm.
And then they nominate 16 more that out of the 16, 4 will get voted in.
Okay. So it's kind of like, it sounds like it's like, how they have the Baseball Hall of Fame where the Veterans Committee, not nominate, automatically votes people in, whereas the Baseball Writers of America vote on people who are eligible for the Hall of Fame. So one is a committee, kind of like I said, the Baseball Hall of Fame, where the committee of veterans vote for the newest Hall of Fame members that may have already elapsed because there's a certain time. I think like you have 10 years on the ballot. If you don't get I think 5% of the vote, you're automatically knocked off. But that committee can select people to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Whereas there's another committee that includes Baseball Writers of America and maybe veterans as well, who vote for who will be inducted to the Hall of Fame, as long as they're 5 years retired from baseball and eligible with at least 5% of the vote if they're not in the first year of eligibility.
Yeah, but I don't think, none of these criteria are listed anywhere.
Yeah, so I don't know what the criteria is.
So, anyways, shame on the Eisner Awards. And I hope if you're watching this, again, hit that subscribe button on the YouTubes. If you're watching this, and when I post that shame post, I hope you like it and repost it. Because it's a fucking sham. Anyways, what were we talking about? Why did it get so negative? Way high's here.
I think I walked in on Sean saying something about familiarity or something, some art technique.
We're doing this drawing.
Yeah, I don't really like this arm. What do you think?
Which one?
I don't know, both arms. This one's cropped off by the edge of the page.
Yeah, I think you're just very aware of the border of the paper, and it's kind of messing with the freedom of your pose. Yeah. So that's where, like, when you do it digitally, you just shrink it down until everything fits in.
Right, digitally, if I would just take this and then resize it, and then boom, it'll fit. Oh, so Ace is here. I saw Ace is in the chat.
Hey,
I don't know if we have time because we still got to do the. Do we have time for the sketch? I know sketch boring. I mean, does Ace want to jump on the sketch boring? Is James Cole still here?
oh, James Cole, he's down for it.
Yeah, this pose is looking like so stiff to me.
Yeah, this is the problem I had with like whenever I draw in comics, drawing within the panel, it's really hard to know where you can crop. People always say you can't touch the panel border because that's a bad tangent, and you shouldn't crop at a joint. And then you can't really nick off any body parts. So either crop it heavily or crop it, don't crop it at all, but don't get close and don't cut off a tiny little elbow or anything. So keeping all that in mind, there's so many, it's like a minefield doing a comic book page. And I don't know how you draw so fast, but for me personally, it's 2 panels a day. That's what I draw.
2 panels, not
panels.
1 page a day?
Yeah, Bernard, yeah, at least 1 page a day for Bernard. But for me, I can do, like, there's one panel that I posted on my Instagram of robot gorilla running away from us with 3 kids. Yeah, he's holding on to. That was 1 panel in a day. So,
Well, what do you constitute as 2 panels? Is that like normally a third of a page, a half a page?
it's usually less than half a page. The average page has 5 panels, sometimes 6. So 2 a day sometimes makes it 3 days to do 1 page.
Wow.
So I'm working at the speed of Jeremy Opeña, or perhaps I don't know how long. I think is Mark Silvestri kind of fast, or is he slow because that Batman book took a long time?
I think he's fast.
Yeah.
He just probably had other stuff going on. Have you ever seen him draw on live before?
It looks like he's moving pretty fast, but there's a lot of lines.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to fire Simple Man as art director.
Well, yeah, I think you're pretty bold for doing the layout stage on stream, because there's a phase of a drawing where you have to be 100% plugged in, and then there's the phase of the drawing where I usually put on a movie and watch as I'm drawing it. It doesn't, like if you're drawing a picket fence, sometimes you gotta draw like 100 pickets on one panel. That you can put on a movie and just kind of half-ass it. But then the layout stage has to be completely quiet and no distractions and focus.
Yeah, and even at that, it's pulling out. That's why I have no hair left. Not like the gorgeous swath of hair that Mr. CHUFONG has.
Oh yeah, the man bun.
Do you know he's so crazy he air dries his hair?
Isn't that great?
That's fucking crazy. Let's.
You think the hair dryer motor causes brain tumors?
No, I just never really. I don't care for hair drying.
Or if you're a hothead, it'll just dry itself.
Okay.
That's right.
Hold on. It's Fletch. Fletch, stay with me for a minute here, Fletch. We're gonna do a poll.
With you, with being Bernard, with you being follically challenged, do you still use hair dryer or no?
Hair
I still have a hair dryer, but I don't use it. My girlfriend uses it.
Yeah.
I have a hair dryer. I use it for watercolor.
This is a 2-minute poll.
When it comes to drying your hair, the reason for using a hair dryer is to get the water to evaporate before mold and mildew can set in. And that's a question of like, how long does that take? I mean, I think it might take at least a few hours before that happens. So if your hair dries before that, then you're fine.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
there's
hair
a
dry-
poll in chat. There's a poll in chat. And you can plead your case, Fletch. We got like less than a
Hair
minute
dry-
and a half left.
Hair drying is fine if you shower at night and you want to get to bed and whatever, you want to dry your hair faster. But during the day, especially the weather we have now, you know, it's hot and it dries really quick without hair drying it.
It's better for the environment.
Exactly.
Hair dryers chew up a lot of electricity. It's like a blender.
I like to go all natural, you know, with my hair.
Yes. Well, Fletch just gets up on a horse naked and then just rides along the beach, and then the air just dries his hair.
Yeah, that's. Is that what
And then
happens?
the photographer comes and takes a picture for a Harlequin romance novel, and then that's what happens every night.
I'm no Fabio, but
I mean, Sean,
I'll
you still
probably-
have hair. Do you air dry or you blow dry?
No, I use a towel.
Towel
that's
dry.
what I use. Yeah.
So you air
dries
dry,
like-
Sean. Your hair is not completely dry from the towel.
Yeah, but I mean, I sleep about 5 hours a night, so usually after a shower, I'm still like, you don't want to go to bed with wet hair because you'll wake up looking like a complete idiot. So yeah, I don't have that much hair, so it dries.
Well, it looks like Normal's gonna win here.
Damn right.
How many times did you vote, Fletch?
I didn't vote at all.
All right.
You know, 60% of the world is voting for one reason or the other.
Yeah.
And I heard Mark Miller say something that was made me very concerned. Because they were talking about their election, and then Brian Boland said, like, I'm actually worried about America's election. And then, you know how Mark Miller he's like a prognosticator. He takes a look at the big picture. He's like Ozymandias. He takes a look at everything and then makes some sort of guess about what's coming in the next few years, decade.
Yeah.
And so he's able to position himself in the right place to get a Netflix deal. So he took this amazing Nostradamus-like power of his and said that from what he can tell of what's going on with American politics and American society in general, is that the American superpower as a nation is coming to an end. At one point the Romans ruled the 3/4 of the world.
Yep.
So he says that America is on the decline, and then usually it's the creditors that take over as a new superpower. So that would be, and isn't that good news for us?
The
Is it a
creditors?
Yeah,
Predators?
the creditors. Our creditors will take over as the new superpower.
And who are our creditors? The Federal Reserve or foreign countries? China.
Yeah,
We-
so that means that we will either have to be put in these enclosed areas so that they can keep an eye on us, or we have to flee the country.
We owe China a lot of money.
Oh yeah, yes.
Well, China's economy supposedly is not doing great. But I don't know how much of that to believe.
That's just Mark Miller, but I mean, the guy also wrote Wanted, so what can you?
They also did Jupiter's Legacy.
Yes.
I do agree that the American Empire is on a slight decline, and
Yes.
all empires will eventually in history.
Yeah, it's a cycle. I mean, but there is a time,
Take a step down, but
and you can see the signs kind of everywhere. I mean, the fact that we all became politically divided, like seriously divided
yes,
as a nation, and also you look at the successive generations. I mean, I have kids, and then you look at what there is one generation called the greatest generation, like the one that fought in the war.
Yep.
No one's really going to call them the next greatest generation because I think whatever there's a lot to be desired with what they're capable of at this point.
I do.
So this is Mark Miller talking, not me. So.
Well, sometimes I've thought about this. It's an interesting topic. Like, what was the empire before? What was the empire before the American Empire?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know history too much.
English Empire.
Well, the British Empire.
Oh yeah,
right?
okay.
So the British and the French and the Dutch. I mean, the Dutch had a huge empire.
Yeah, I mean, we're a Dutch colony, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they had vast naval superiority that allowed them to colonize a lot of lands that are very far away from Dutch. And the Dutch is like Netherlands are like such a small country, right?
Yeah, they totally kicked ass.
But
Portuguese.
But the downfall. Is the argument the same that the British Empire is no longer the British Empire and that what would you say, like the fall of Rome? Like Jimbo says, it's like Rome, but is it like the total collapse? Like, what was Rome? Rome was Italy, or Rome was Rome?
Italy.
Roman Empire.
Roman Empire.
Was at point 75% of the world was the Roman Empire, right?
I don't know about 75% of the world because it wasn't over here, and it wasn't in Asia.
75% of their known world.
75% of Europe, maybe. Yeah, come on, Sean. I mean, there's also Africa and Australia and
China. China, I guess. Is
yeah, and I mean, Genghis Khan, I think, had a bigger empire than the Roman Empire, or in terms of land. And they can say like what a high percentage of people actually can be traced back to Genghis Khan, the DNA. Huh? You didn't hear about that? Yeah, Jimbo backed me up. Isn't there like a large percentage of the actual human population that some of their DNA can be traced back to Genghis Khan?
Wow, he really got around. He's like Wilt Chamberlain.
So, I mean, but okay, so the Roman Empire, obviously the Roman Empire is no longer around, right? The Greek Empire, if it was an empire, was no longer around. But, I mean, there's still Greece, right?
This tourist destination now.
England, again, so we'll go back to British. The British Empire is it still around or is it no longer around?
The last vestiges of it was left with Brexit.
Well, okay, so you're saying that it was all the way up to Brexit.
Well, I mean, relevant up to the U.S. Got their independence, America's independence.
Right. So if that's the case, if the British Empire is no longer an empire, but the British pound is still worth more than the U.S. dollar, Britain is still looked at as a...
I don't know if it's worth more. It's more of...
Well, the valuation of the British pound is higher than the U.S. dollar, right?
But everything's measured against the U.S. dollar, though.
Okay.
Nothing.
That's true.
Measured against.
Okay. So, but would you say that, what is the downfall? Again, then the definition of the downfall of the American Empire, what is the downfall? What does that look like? Is it, Sean, when Mike Millar says that, or Miller says that, is it Millar or Miller?
Miller.
When Mark Miller says that, does it mean that there's not going to be an America? Does that mean that America's stronghold?
We just become like Britain. We just become like, we're still relevant, but I don't know what that means.
Not the supreme number one power.
Yeah.
But then who's going to be the supreme number one power?
Well, he says it might be China.
It might be Mars.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm done with this. I don't like this arm here.
Oh, that drawing turned out nice though.
I don't like this arm.
Yeah.
Here.
Which the one that's closest to the edge?
Yeah, his left arm.
I think it looks fine, and you can definitely get away with it.
It looks a little stiff, but do we have any time? Do we have time for anything else, or I need to get back to work? Do we want to do the inking of the boobies, or do we want to do a sketch battle? James Quo is still
Ink
here.
just the boob.
Ink the boobies.
Like carrot bra.
The boobies?
Fletch was about to sign off, but then
I'll stick around for boobies.
we're covered with carrots.
And this is a much smoother paper, so much easier.
Yeah, you like the smooth paper.
Golf Boy says, technically the British Empire still exists, as the Crown is the political head of the Commonwealth countries, but the Crown has no real governing power. I mean, what is it? It'll be interesting. And again, whatever empires are going to fall faster than the Roman Empire. How long was the Roman Empire around?
For a long time.
Hundreds of years? The U.S. is only 200 years old, right? And the U.S. only really came into global prominence after World War II? Or would you say before World War II? As a global empire.
Yeah, probably after World War II, because they were still figuring out, expanding to the west, and then there was Civil War. So around World War One, World War II, became more of a global leader.
On that note, what should she be wearing down here? Like panties, or like a loincloth, or...
On that note,
This is what's causing the downfall of this country.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of it is like stuff like this, maybe, right?
Yes. I still hope that we're leaders in entertainment.
We're contributing to
even
the
if-
downfall of the American empire. I mean, we're sitting around watching me draw a half-naked bunny girl.
Meanwhile, I don't think in China you're not allowed to. Like, there's no social media, right? Or like, you really cannot just get on the computer and just surf YouTube for 3 hours. It's not.
No,
it's
they have their own.
against the
They
law.
have their own. They have TikTok and they have Weibo and they have their own.
it's all police though. So if you,
Yeah.
Yeah, like they would, and there's a social credit system, so they would lock up Fletch for his internet connection. They're like, you're not, that's slow. I mean, Fletch would be like, his internet connection would be slower because he has a lower social score. Right?
They're throttling my.
You can tell. You can tell who's like
Yeah.
on the outs with the government.
Wow. So you kind of get shadow banned if you.
Oh yeah,
You don't represent your
they had
country
that
well.
during COVID, right? So people would have in order to take a train or a plane to go anywhere, like visit family or work, you had to, prove that you had your tests and are COVID free. But it's a social currency kind of program. So if the government didn't like you, they would just digitally switch you to red. And then you would be stuck. You wouldn't be able to get on a train to go somewhere. You'd be kind of ostracized.
Yeah.
And then Fletch is going to start a revolution of this pirate Wi-Fi. It says
Pirate
Kevin P.
Wi-Fi?
West. Yeah, because you're going to go against the government, because the government controls the internet, right? And based on your social credit rating, the better you are, the faster you get to go on the web. But because yours is all glitchy, that means you're doing something.
Oh, glitchy! I think it's your system. You probably upgraded to something else. That,
Well, Fletch,
you can
your internet this stream has been like amazing. So I think
It's the same-
obviously you've made a contribution to your local government chairman.
Just fixing the internet in this area, I guess.
I think I'm gonna make both of her legs kind of puffy, like the what are those cowboys? Let me find
Oh,
that.
chaps.
Yeah, cowboy chaps. That way,
Okay.
is it called cowboy chaps?
Yeah,
Yes.
called chaps.
Just
Assless chaps.
assless, yeah.
So
They're all.
no, but
Sometimes they're assless.
like furry. Yeah, they're assless. There's no ass. It's just the thighs, right?
Yeah, it's just a good way to highlight your pelvic region.
That way I don't have to. I don't have to figure out her costume so much. But is there ones with the furry buffalo skin or not the I don't know, buffalo skin's not furry, but
I don't think so.
I thought there's ones where it's like super furry.
What are you drawing?
It's a
Commission
commission.
for one sick guy.
Sean, you said that. No, it's a cool guy. He just has a lot of bunny drawings. He wants bunny drawings. So everyone typically draws like a Playboy bunny. But the parameters were like he was like just do whatever you want, but just based off of the bunny girl. So let me do furry cowboy chaps. See, yeah, look at this. This is what I'm talking about.
That's not me.
Well,
Somebody
someone
just
else came on.
Hi.
Oh.
Hey, it's
Me?
Sabrina Carpenter.
It's who?
Sabrina Carpenter.
Who's that? Is that a young child
You
singer?
guys have a similar appearance.
Oh, we're white and blonde.
Yeah. Oh, there you found the furry chaps.
Yeah, they're
That's
like
amazing.
what is that? Like sheep, wool.
And what kind of function do they serve?
I have no idea. Anybody in the Midwest or the South or the Plains?
I'm sure it's
Those
got
images look really old. Nobody wears those anymore.
You've never seen these before?
What are they for? Like, what
I've
purpose?
sold assless chaps and I sold motorcycles.
Yeah, but why the fur is what Sean's asking. Like,
We didn't have fur. Probably for warmth. It's cold out there on them plains.
yeah. Oh, look at these are pretty. So
So you're
something
gonna
like
do
this.
that? You're gonna do the fur chap.
Yeah,
Mm.
but they're all,
maybe those cowboys just like the feel of that sheep. It reminds them of adventure.
Well, somebody had to go there.
Well, not me.
Good job.
all right. So she does have panties, right? But then she's wearing these.
Because she's cold, right? She would put on those furry chap.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's cold. So
Oh,
first thing
because
you
she
grab.
has panties on. So you got to put on those chaps.
Yeah, I should
Keep
have.
all those internal organs really aired out and unprotected around the stomach region.
I don't think
That's
we're
good.
gonna.
That's
How long have we been on? I feel
2
like-
hours.
Oh yeah, my 2 hour internal meter is like going off. I think we need to get out of here.
Okay.
Just got
Bye,
on.
everybody. That's okay. I had to work late. I had to use my phone and I couldn't do both.
Sorry, James Quo.
Are you?
Huh? We talked a lot about a lot of stuff today. Next week we'll do the sparring. Ace, you should come on and spar next week. We need maybe another volunteer. I think we got to get out of here because my bladder is like.
Just one quick question. Chaps. So is that like is this where chapstick came from and chapped lips?
Chapstick is what comes out of the chaps.
Right.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah. I don't know what function chaps serve either. Does it have to do with horse riding?
I think so.
Yeah, so
That's
that your
gonna
legs
ride
don't
another-
rub against the horse, the saddle, right?
but it's the inside.
It's also if you fall though. If you fall off, you're not gonna get maimed, and cushions your blow.
These are the ones I'm gonna use right here. See
Yeah,
these?
that's like a woman's.
Yeah, that's like a woman's one. And it's very furry.
You're gonna make it out of rabbit pelts.
It doesn't really make sense because she has like a very tribal kind of outfit up here, and then down here it's like cowboy.
A boy.
Yeah, she looks like she's ready to storm the White House.
I don't think you're supposed to think about it too much, but it's really showing your support of who you're really with in the next election, Bernard. So just
Huh?
putting that up there.
What? I don't
Yeah, it's
get it.
that guy who raided the White House with that big buffalo head.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is he in jail now?
The J6.
He should be. I think the Supreme Court's letting him out, though.
Oh, that's right. They let a lot of them go.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, well, I'm gonna eat this next week then. I gotta figure out this chaps thing before the rest of our outfit. Any last words before I go pee?
Just let it go.
Chat,
Just do it.
Marcus, Giorgio.
So you're leaving this stream to go do another stream?
Yes. Ooh. By the way, I got a bidet
All right.
toilet. Really nice.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It's cut down my toilet paper use by 50% now.
So you still have to use toilet paper.
Yeah, you
right?
still have to
Well,
wipe your
You
butt.
still have to. I mean, it's an
Air dry.
emergency.
Yeah,
Right?
you should try it.
You could. There is an air
You know.
dry option. Is that
Like,
crazy?
Fletch lets the hair on his head air dry, and you let the hair on your ass air dry.
Oh.
Man.
Kevin P. West says, "Don't cross streams."
We're gonna do a dual stream next week.
That's why I'm trying to get off stream so I can go. Otherwise, I'm gonna pee myself.
Yeah.
That's my
Happy
internal
holiday.
alarm to know that 2 hours is up. Fletch, anything you want to say before we get out of here? You're gonna be
Yeah.
down in San Diego next week, right?
2 weeks.
2
Not
weeks.
next week.
Okay. Oof. Courtney, anything you want to add before you get out of here?
I'll probably be at Comic-Con. I don't know how. I don't know when. But
Wow.
most
Are
likely.
You're helping out Carl because what's his name? Well, there's one guy that was there last time. What does he go by? That name?
Oh,
The dancer.
DJ boy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's helping out.
Oh, he is? Oh, I
You
don't
should
know.
get the team back together. I mean, they really need help with that.
I don't know. I
Zero
don't think
dose.
Carl's doing like a. I don't know. I'll check with Carl though.
Yeah, he'll have plenty of use for you.
Yeah. No, I have some other work to do, so I wouldn't be able to do all days or something. I'm tired.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
I just
guys,
want. I like Artist
Alright.
Alley.
I'm sweating.
Oh, sorry.
I'm
Ryan, you-
sweating. Literally, I'm sweating.
Go pee. Just go to the
All right,
bathroom.
we're rating Kim Verrez. Thank you. It's gonna take like another minute. Thank you everybody for watching. Sean, any last words?
No, nothing.
Okay, good. Thank
Are we
you.
gonna,
Um,
Are we
happy
gonna-
holidays. Thanks, Jimbo.
Happy
Thanks
holidays.
everybody.
happy holidays.
All right. See you guys later.
Bye. Sean, are you coming to San Diego?
I will not be there.
Oh, okay. Hey, Comic-Con India reached out to me